Hello everyone, to demo of part 1A for assignment 3 by Dhruv Deshmukh. So the part 1A asks us to build a UDP echo client server. This will send echo messages at a given time interval, a given packet size and number of messages for given number of messages, and it will record the RTT for these messages and give us these RTT statistics. So the structure is that I have a client folder in which the client code is there, while there is the server folder for server code. I have here opened here two terminals side by side. This is the server and this is the client. This is the server folder, client folder. Now I will compile the client. So this is the compile line, and this is the compilation has happened for the server and client. Now I run the code. So here the dot slash out, after the dot slash out, you can use a local host as the argument, or you can also provide an IP address. So here I am going to provide it as this particular address. So we have set up the server at this address. Now in the client we will do the same thing. So first of all, we will give the server address, that is this 127.0.0.2. Then S is the size option. So this is the size of the message, uh, size of the packet that we want to send. I is the interval, so the number of intervals at which, like after every 2 seconds, a message will be sent here. Then N is the number of messages, so 8 messages will be sent in total. And T is a timeout. This is not actually asked in the question, but I am providing this. So this is the amount of time that we will wait for a particular message to be received. If it is not received within the time, we will consider it as dropped. So now I will run this. So the messages are being sent one by one, you can see. So the first printing is done for your reference to show whatever values you have entered. Then these are the messages. So here 2 messages have been timed out of the 8 messages we sent, and for the messages that were received, the RTT has been printed. So the statistics can be seen here, that out of the 8 packets, 6 were received, 2 were lost, and the loss percentage. Also the minimum, maximum and the average RTT has been calculated. And here in the server side, whenever a message is received, it prints the message thing. And this is some parameters that I'm printing, which I'll explain shortly. So let's have a walkthrough of the code. So the server is a simple server code. It is based on the one that Sir showed in his lectures of socket programming. These are some utilities that I have used. This is the main code. So here, first of all, I take in the arguments for whatever address the user has given. I use get address info to get the proper IPv4 address, and then I allocate a socket to the server, and then I will bind it to the IP address. Then once the binding has been done, we go in a infinite loop, and we wait for messages from the client. Whenever a message is received, we are printing it. Here is the basic error checking, and then we send back the message, same message again. It's a echo message. And this is the error checking mechanism. This is the delay mechanism that I'm using. So here C is a counter which is incremented after every iteration of the loop, and yes, after like C is greater than 20, it is reset again. So I've done this so that the loss that is observed is not very negligible. So if nothing is lost, then you will not be able to see that my program also works for loss cases. Hence I have used this loss mechanism to get this loss. Otherwise there will be no loss, as we are on the local host. Mostly no packets will be lost. So here a random number is generated, and if the counter divides that number, then we give a delay. So what this delay ensures is the packet is received after the timeout. By doing this, the packet will be considered as dropped. So in the client, here are the structures that I use for my code. Then some utilities. Then this is the send function. I go in a loop for the number of messages that what need to be sent by as provided by the user. Then I create the message. So the message consists of an unique identification number, uh, and rest of the message is padded using dollar sign. Then whenever the message is sent, I record the send time. I use a lock around this, so that because the receive function also accesses the send time, and I don't want improper access to this memory location. I use the sleep function to give the required delay between consecutive messages. Then in the receive thread, the program is multi-threaded. So in the receive thread, uh, I I have a expected variable. So while I am expecting some messages, I'll go in a loop. At the beginning, I will go through all the messages, all the send times and receive times, and I will see if if a timeout, like if the current time is greater than the timeout for a particular message. So that means now we should stop expecting that message and we should print request timeout for that message. And then finally I check for receive from. So if there is any message to be received, check basic error checking. And then if I again check if the message is received after timeout, then it will be discarded or dropped. If it is received within time, then we take the difference between the receive and send time to calculate the RTT, and that RTT is printed. These are some initialization functions that I use. Now in the main function, again we get a socket, parse the arguments, at the options that I showed you while running the program, they are printed. Then here is the get address info. So whatever server address that you give, it will get the IPv4 address for it. Then here is the initialization code. Then these are the thread creation, send and receive. So send and receive can happen in a simultaneous manner. Then this is the place where after the sending and receiving is done, this is the place where all the calculation of average, min, max, RTT is done, and how many packets are lost and received is done, and finally all this data is printed. So this is how the code is written. Thank you for your time.